Hello, everybody. Welcome to Schaumburg, the village of Schaumburg, to be exact, as we are just about to get set here for Game 1 of a three-game series between the Schaumburg Boomers and the Evansville Otters. Well, it was a wild one yesterday for the Otters. They ended up tying 13-13, but won in sudden death after Junior Serta didn't allow a run in the 11th inning. That's where we stand at 15-8. Well, we are having a few issues with home team. What issues, you may ask? I have no idea. So we're here on YouTube, here for listening. We started it's a little late, but a little early to be exact. We haven't started the home team stream quite yet, but for now we're doing a little pregame show on YouTube. So thank you for joining. My name's Evan Patoka, and we're here in Schaumburg. It was a pretty long bus ride here. Face off against the Boomers. The Boomers are on a rough stretch as of recent. They have lost 7 straight games, including getting swept in back-to-back series on the road against Florence and Joliet. They got walked off by Joliet yesterday. Last night, 8-7. They were down 7-1. They ended up coming back to tie it up, but were not able to finish the job. And now they're at 500 at 12-12. And they had a pretty big lead at the start of the season to start off, but now, all of a sudden, after the 7-game losing streak, they're now tied with Gateway for first in the West Division. It's very close there. Schaumburg and Gateway both at 12-12 at the top. Windy City only a game back. Mississippi, who we just played, 10-14 after the loss yesterday. They're 2 games back. Joliet, after sweeping Schaumburg, is now only 4 games back. In the West, Otters are only a half game back of Washington. Meanwhile, Florence is 2 games back at 14-10 after an insane 20-19 win against Windy City. And Lake Erie is at 12-12. So if they were in the West Division, then they would be in first place, tied for first at least with Schaumburg and Gateway. But no, they just so happen to be in the Central, so they're last at 12-12. That's just how competitive the Central Division is to start off the year. This means the Otters got to try and win every game they can here, but they're not necessarily prone to winning on the road as much as they are at home. They started now 11-3 at home, 3-5 on the road. They had a 5-game road trip a couple weeks ago, and they ended up winning both of their series finales against Gateway and Windy City. We were just up here in Chicago, the Chicago area. Now we're back here for a 3-gamer at Wintrust Field, and we'll play 3 here, have a day off Monday, or travel day, most likely. And then we head to Lake Erie, to Avon, Ohio, to take on the Crushers. First pitch is going to start very soon. We'll take a look at the lineups. First, for the home team, the Boomers, it's Alec Craig leading off at shortstop. Kyle Fitzgerald in left field batting second. Kellum Clark in right field bats third. And then Miles Beal is the cleanup man in center field. Will Prater is batting fifth, and Alex Kolarko and Jeff Nickel. And then the bottom 2 in the lineup for the Boomers is Tony Livermore and Mitch Bonkowski. For the Otters, John Ponder's getting the day off today, so it's Sam Linscott leading off and playing center field. Then Amani Jones, Logan Brown, and Dennis Pierce. The usual 2, 3, 4 guys. Blake Robertson's hitting fifth at first base, then Marcos Gonzalez at third. He bats sixth, and then the bottom 3, LG Castillo in left, Mark Black in right field, and TJ Salvaggio at shortstop in the 9-hole. Starting pitchers for the day, it is J.D. Encarnacion pitching for the Otters today. And he had a very good game against Windy City. He threw 6 innings, gave up only 1 run, struck out 3, only walked 1 as well, 4 hits, and unfortunately, that was a loss for the Otters. In sudden death, that was the first sudden death game that the Otters have played this season. They now have 2 after whatever the heck yesterday was. On the other side for the Boomers, it is Ross Thompson, who is pitching for Schaumburg. Any of the big fans of Evansville from last season would recognize that name. He pitched 3 games for Evansville last season. Ended up getting released by them on June 24th of 2025. Signed with Schaumburg on the 4th of July and has been with them ever since. Now he's here as a starter for one of the best pitching staffs in the Frontier League. These guys are second in ERA at a 4.68 in terms of their rankings. Second in ERA, they have the most strikeouts in the league. They don't give up home runs. They don't really walk guys as well, 64, which is the second lowest total in the Frontier League, and it's been the offense that has been kind of staggering. This is the reason why they're at 500. The pitching's been doing their job, but the offense has not been looking like the Schaumburg offense of the past, and it's been a little bit of a rough going for Schaumburg's offense. They had a rough series against Joliet. Or overall, they hit 202 in that series. On the road, overall, they're hitting at a 211. Compared to 294 at home, they average 8.3 runs per game here at Wintrust Field. Meanwhile, on the road, 3.3. This is a team that is insanely hot and cold between home and road splits. And it's a very good home field advantage being here at Wintrust Field. It's a huge stadium. They constantly are top 3, if not the highest, in attendance in the Frontier League, and they have a nice home field advantage. They're 10-2 at home this season. Meanwhile, on the road, they are now 2-10 after losing 6 straight on the road against Florence and Joliet. That series against Joliet, they hit 202. Their pitching wasn't great either. They had an 8.03 average, and if the pitching's not good, then the hitting can't really do much to help out the pitching, as the hitting has been a little bit to be desired. In terms of rankings, they're in the bottom 5 in runs, hits, doubles, RBIs, home runs. They don't strike out that much. They do steal a lot of bases, and they walk a lot. That's the definite positives for them, but 253 average as a team throughout this season. It's 15th in the Frontier League, and it's been a bit of a rough start for the Boomers. Also, especially because their best hitter and the MVP of last season, Anthony Calarco, has been on the IL, and he already started the season on a pretty cold streak. Now he's on the IL, which means they have to get new guys and see who can kind of back him up. Calarco won the MVP last season. Set the single-season Frontier League record for RBIs, 116. 16 more than the previous mark. He set it on August 14th of last season, and he's been a big part of Schaumburg's offense, especially last season. This is a Schaumburg team that was so close to winning that 5th Frontier League championship. They lost 6-5 against Quebec. They were so close. Just like Evansville in 2023, they were so close to beating Quebec and just couldn't do it in the end. But they have been a dominant force in the division. They have won the last 3 season series against Evansville. Now the Otters, this is a new squad though, a team that has really come back from adversity. They have done a great job in terms of coming back, especially last night. They were down 8. They were down 10-2 in the 5th inning. They ended up coming back to tie things up at 11, take the lead 13-11. 2 runs came in from Mississippi, and, well, no one scored in the 10th. We had to do sudden death for the second time, and that was that. The Otters scored their most runs in an inning so far this season as well yesterday. That 7-run 7th inning that put them on top by 2. But it was a series against Mississippi where the pitching staff was not really up to par as they have been all season. It was a series where the starting pitching was really roughed up. All three pitchers, Wiltsey, Williman, and Petschke, especially Petschke. He gave up those 9 runs in 2 1/3. So most runs allowed by a starter so far this season. And then the walks were also an issue. They walked 10 guys yesterday, which is also the most in a game this season. Well, it was supposed to be a 6:30 start. I don't know if we got delayed or not. Still have yet to do the national anthem quite yet, but hopefully everybody's having a good day today on this nice Friday afternoon. I have to remind myself what day of the week it is, because with the season going on, it really does kind of get all wonky in terms of what days of the week it is. June 5th, 2026. That's where we're at right now. It's game number 24 of 102. It feels like we've been through so much already this season, but we are not even a fourth of the way through the season. We will be a fourth of the way through after this road trip. Next home game will be next Friday, and that will be against Schaumburg. Schaumburg will get to show off their stuff here at home, but then we'll get to see them as a road team. And according to the statistics, they are two very different teams in terms of being at home and on the road. So we'll see how they do at Bosse Field, especially because Evansville is a very good team at home as well at 12-3. We'll take a little break here, and we'll hopefully be back and ready to go for first pitch. Still not too sure when we're throwing that first pitch, but it will be thrown with the sun out. The tarp was out earlier today because it was raining, but I think we are good to go for today. Maybe a little bit of a delay to get the field ready. We had that happen yesterday. We started, I think, 10 minutes late, and it ended up being a 4-hour, 15-minute game. So hopefully it's a little bit of a shorter game today, and the Otters can pull off a victory and go 8 games over 500 for the first time this season. We'll be right back on the Otters Digital Network. Papa John's is the official sponsor of the Otters pregame and postgame shows, available every game before and after each Evansville Otters game on the Otters Digital Network and Home Team Network at some point. The Frontier League Network, powered by HCN, is the exclusive home of every Frontier League game this year. Head to EvansvilleOtters.com to sign up today and get a front row seat to every Otters game this year. Well, for everybody just joining, I still don't think we have a home team stream, so my apologies. I don't know what's going on. I don't have choice over this. Please do not blame the messenger. I am just telling everybody that the home team is down. I don't know why. It's a good question. I wish I knew, actually. But hopefully everybody is enjoying listening on YouTube. We have our plate meeting between the managers, Andy McCauley and Jamie Bennett. Our umpires for today, behind the plate calling the balls and strikes, is Jose Muriente. At first base, it's Dylan Self, and then at third, it's Wes Dunkel. Oh, sorry. Apparently, we have a switch in the umpires, which I didn't realize. Wes Dunkel's at first. No Dylan Self. It's Keith Rogowski at third. That's the umpiring crew. We've seen Jose Muriente before. Wes Dunkel, Keith Rogowski, not names I've seen so far this season. So we'll see how they do. It's been a rough couple weeks with the umpires, especially for the Otters. Andy McCauley and Max Peterson both got tossed yesterday. Andy McCauley, if you were there yesterday on home team, it was a bit of a spectacle, a sight to see, to be exact, as Andy McCauley did the catcher's pose right in front of Tevis Payne to show he was already thrown out. He gave everybody a piece of his mind, but then he squatted in front of home plate like a catcher to demonstrate what he was talking about, just in case the umpires didn't get it the first time. It was truly something. It was truly something. JD Encarnacion warming in the bullpen, being watched by everybody. Literally everybody is over there watching him. And JD is having a good start to the season. He has a 1.64 ERA in 11 innings. Started off in the bullpen, but with Dawil Almonte going on to the IL, not too sure when he's going to come back. But definitely some choices to be made here for the rotation when Almonte comes back, because he started off the season quite well. And they can't kick JD out of the rotation now because he's been pitching great. So maybe we'll get a six-man rotation, or maybe somebody will get to head back to the bullpen, be on bullpen duty with the rest of the guys. .641 Central Standard Time. So we're hitting an 11-minute delay now. Seems as though everything is delayed, whether it be home team or the actual game itself. We got some games starting already. Windy City is in Joliet. The two other Chicago area teams facing off against each other. Mississippi is at Gateway after losing 2 of 3 against the Otters. It's Florence at Washington, and Washington has already scored 4 runs in the first inning. So that's always fun. Trois Rivières and Brockton are tied up at 2. In the second inning. Sussex County's up 4-0 in the second inning. Down East is playing New York. Lake Erie is in Quebec. Interesting. Not often do you see a Central team up there in Quebec. Quebec is 18-5 and quite scary, but Lake Erie is in the division, so I think we might have to root against their demise against Quebec, even though they are a scary force. Ottawa against Tri-City is the last game. Besides the game here. That game's in the 5th inning. It started a little earlier than the rest of the games.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining the Cougars on the field tonight are some of the strongest warriors from Ann and Robert H. Lurie Children's Hospital in Chicago.
Well, Ottawa in that North Division was really keeping up with Quebec through the first 10 or so games, and now they're 6 games back. Trois Rivières, Tri-City, they're both at 7 and 15, and they're 10.5 games back. Meanwhile, it's another good fight for the division in the East as New Jersey and New York both tied at the top, 13 and 10. Down East on a good winning streak. They're 1.5 games back. Their offense is looking really nice. They had a game earlier this week in which they won 22-16 against Brockton. It was a weird week. It definitely was a weird week in the Frontier League in terms of offense. We're putting up Pecos League numbers in the Frontier League this week. Pioneer League, Pecos League, either one you could say. Just a lot of offense. So we'll take one more break as I think we're nearing the national anthem. It's a little bit of a longer pregame. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the YouTube stream. Hopefully we get home team up pretty soon. But for now, thank you for joining on the YouTube. We'll be right back after the anthem, and we'll finally be ready for first pitch on the Otters Digital Network. Welcome back to Schaumburg. We're just about ready for our first pitch here. A little delayed. Pretty sure it was due to the rain. They took the tarp off right when the Otters got here at around 3:45, 4 o'clock, which means it delayed the game back a little bit, just by about 20 minutes to get the field all ready and watered and mowed. You know, the field takes a lot of hard work and a lot of precision to perfect for the players and guys on the field. So, gonna need some extra time. You can't rush things like that. And you know, shout out to our groundskeeper at Bossy Field, Dan, who's done a great job at making sure the field's looking nice and fancy for the Otters when we play our home games. And it's the same thing here in Schaumburg. Starting pitcher for the Boomers is Ross Thompson. As Thompson's on the mound, he has a 4.01 ERA in 24 2/3 innings. Currently sitting at a 3-1 record, has given up 20 hits, 11 earned runs, 5 walks compared to 31 strikeouts. This entire pitching staff strikes out a lot of guys and doesn't walk that many guys. So you'll be hard-pressed to find a walk here for Thompson. He's given up 2 home runs as well. He actually got his only loss of the season in his last outing against Florence. He threw 5 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts en route to the loss against Florence back on the 30th. A little bit of a new lineup. John Ponder is getting the day off today in Game 1 of the series, so Lynn Scott will just take over in his spot, playing center field and leading off. Ready to go. Pitch 1 about to be thrown here from Wintrust Field in northern Schaumburg, the village of Schaumburg to be exact. Lynn Scott leads it off against Thompson. Now, all these guys for Evansville had great offensive days yesterday. That's what happens when you score 13 runs. First pitch is crushed deep to left field. 1 pitch, and Lynn Scott sends it out of the yard. First pitch. First home run of the year for Lynn Scott. What a start for the Otters. Now picking up where we left off yesterday. We only saw 1 homer yesterday, but now 1 on 1 pitch. What a start. First leadoff homer for any Otter this season. First pitch to Jones. Hits the zone for strike 1. A little low. It's 1-1. A good start to a ball game, huh? 1 pitch. That was a long drive, too. Inside, it's 2-1. Monty Jones, 9-game hitting streak. He went 2 for 5 yesterday. Sitting at a 3.07. Switching 2 lefties in the lineup as that one's fouled away off to the left side. It'll get out of play. Look out over there. Well, Wintrust Field, one of the higher capacity stadiums in the league. Grounder down the first base line. Diving stop at first. Flips over to Thompson. What a play at first by Bonkowski. Now, we've already seen some fireworks early here from both sides. That one's out number 1. Let's take a look at the defense after that great defensive play from Bonkowski. It's Fitzgerald, Beal, and Clark left to right field. Will Praters at third with Craig at short, Livermore at second, and then we just saw Mitch Bonkowski at first. Alex Kolarko doing the catching for Ross Thompson. First pitch is swung on and missed for strike one for Logan Brown. 1-0 Otters here in the top of the first inning. Otters, when scoring in the first innings this season, they're 6-2. Another swing and a miss. 0-2. Logan Brown went 3 for 6 yesterday. Overall, in the series, he went 6 for 14. Drove in a couple runs. Gets a piece of it, fouls it back. Well, one thing about Wintrust Field, from what you can see, is there is a lot of space between home plate and the back fence. So if anything gets away, it'll be an easy one base. So you got to be great defensively here if you're Alex Calarco and Logan Brown. Can't let anything get past you because of just the sheer amount of space that is behind the dish. Another one fouled off from Logan Brown, and it's still 0-2. Swung on and missed for strike three. First strikeout of the day for Thompson. That's out number 2.
Now batting, designated hitter number 10, Dennis Pierce.
Dennis Pierce. Takes a strike. Pierce 1 for 4 in his last 2 games, but he hit a solo homer for that one hit. His third of the year he hit yesterday to the opposite field. All 3 of his home runs have come at home. Third home run given up by Ross Thompson was that solo shot from Lynn Scott. Called an outside strike. It's 1-2. Thompson mentioned this in the pregame. He was a player for Evansville. Didn't play too long for him, only 3 1/3 innings. Played in 3 games in the middle of June. Reaches out, soft grounder over to third. Throw from Prater to first, and not in time as Dennis Pierce is able to reach on the infield single. That was a weird one. It was looking like it was heading right towards Alec Craig at short, but Prater cuts him off and is unable to make the play at first. Blake Robertson stands in for his first at-bat of the day. Runner on first with 2 outs. First pitch called a strike. Now, B-Rob in the series against Mississippi went 3 for 12. He walked 3 times and drove in 3 runs. So still pretty good on the offensive side of the ball. Including yesterday, went 2 for 4. Scored 3 times. Drove in 2 runs, walked twice as well. He's doing a lot better offensively as of recent, now hitting at 200. Fly ball into left field. Going back is Fitzgerald, and he will make the catch for out number 3. Well, Sam Linscott homered on the first pitch of the game, and the Otters have a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the first on the Otters Digital Network. First innings brought to you by Mesker Park Zoo and Botanical Gardens. Visit the Mesker Park Zoo at 1545 Mesker Park Drive in Evansville, Indiana. Another reminder that Home Team Network is not working right now. Don't ask me why, because I do not know. But happy to have you here on the YouTube stream as we are still rocking and rolling here in Schaumburg. If you're just joining us, a home run on the first pitch of the game for Sam Linscott has the Otters at a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. Alec Craig skies one to Linscott in center field. He'll make the catch, and that is out number 1. Encarnacion threw 6 innings of 1-run ball in his last start. Both of his starts have come against Windy City. He did come out of the bullpen for his first outing of the season. He threw an inning of scoreless ball in the 15-5 victory back on the 19th against Gateway after starting the year on the inactive list. First pitch swung on and missed for Kyle Fitzgerald, who's batting second in the order for Schaumburg. A lot of returners here for Schaumburg this season. Fitzgerald is one of them. This is his 4th season with the Boomers. Fouled away out of the stadium. This is a pretty, you got to get it pretty high up and over to get it out of here. Foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. 0-2. Fitzgerald calls his timeout. Now Encarnacion kicks and deals the 0-2 pitch. Little low, makes it 1-2. Fitzgerald, 27 years old, from Brookfield, Illinois. Brookfield, Chicago suburb, very close to where we're at right now. Schaumburg does tend to sign a lot of Chicago area guys as well. So that one's high, and it's 2-2. One out here in the bottom of the first inning. Otters with a 1-0 lead. 2-2 from Encarnacion. A little outside, and it's a full count. Fitzgerald so far this season hitting at a .272 average. 22 for 81 now in his 23rd game. 2 home runs, 20 RBIs on the year. 3-2, another fly ball into deep center this time, but Linscott goes back at the wall, and it's over the wall, and a home run for Fitzgerald, his 3rd of the year. And we are all tied up at 1 in the bottom of the first inning. Oh, for a second it looked like Linscott had a chance at it. He just kept on going back and back until he ran out of room, and it ended up going over the center field wall. So after the solo home run from Linscott in the first inning, Fitzgerald hits one over Linscott and over the wall to tie things up at 1. Kellum Clark. A lot of lefties in the lineup as Clark gets hit with the first pitch. So he will take first base. Cleanup man, Miles Beal. Now, lefties in the lineup, Alec Craig, Kellum Clark, Will Prater, and Tony Livermore. But there's also 2 switch hitters in Miles Beal, who's up to the plate right now, and Alex Clarko, who we'll see later on. Miles Beal has been the best hitter so far for Schaumburg. Runner on first here with 1 out. First pitch called a strike after Beal shows the bunt and pulls it back. Marcos Gonzalez over at third, inching a little closer to the grass. Robertson covering Clark at first. 1-0 pitch. Grounder to Robertson. He'll throw to second for 1. A little off. Throw back to first, and not in time as Robertson wasn't on the bag. It looks like they called the runner safe at second base as CJ Salvaggio stepped off the bag as well. be a fielder's choice and an error on Robertson at first. Well, the Otters have kind of been struggling in terms of defense. Looked like at first Salvaggio was on the bag, but apparently he wasn't. So now 2 on with 1 out after the error and the fielder's choice from Beal. Will Prater fouled one off himself, so it's 0-1 now. Encarnacion looking to keep things tied up here in the bottom of the first inning. 0-1 pitch. That's a grounder into left field, and it'll be a base hit. Getting the round at third is Kellum Clark. Throw will be cut off, and Schaumburg has taken a 2-1 lead. So the error comes back to bite the Otters, and now there's still 2 on with 1 out, but now Schaumburg with a lead 2-1 here in the bottom of the first inning. Quick mound visit already here in the bottom of the first inning between Logan Brown and J.D. Encarnacion. This is the 3rd straight game in which the Otters' opponent has scored in the first inning. Of course, at this rate, you can never count out the Otters, considering what they did yesterday. But you can only come back from deficits so many times before you want to start off the game with a lead. You can't come back from being down every game. It's not sustainable. Alex Calarco, second of 2 switch hitters, batting from the left side against JD. Fouls one off. It's 1-1. Alex Calarco, the brother of Anthony Calarco, first pair of brothers to play on the Boomers in their franchise's history. He had a pretty good season, only a small sample size, 383 in 15 games last season for the Boomers. So far this season, he's hitting at a 290. Not too shabby for him. He swings and misses, though, and it's 1-2. Anthony was the Frontier League MVP last season, broke the RBI record, 116 of them. Helped Schaumburg make the championship series. Fouled off to the left side. It will remain at 1-2. So the last 4 batters have reached for Schaumburg, and they now lead at 2-1 here in the bottom of the first. Calarco with runners on, hitting 206 as that one hits him and goes back to the screen. So Encarnacion a little bit wild as well as the defensive mishaps and the hits given up. Bases are now loaded with 1 out in the bottom of the first.
Now batting designated hitter number 12, Jeff.
A big opportunity here for Jeff Nickel. Hasn't gotten too much playing time this season. Last game was on the 29th. Only in his 7th game, but doing the DHing today for the Boomers. First pitch from Encarnacion is outside for ball 1. The 2 runs, one of them will be earned for Encarnacion after the error. There's a strike. Makes it 1-1. Fastball just hits the outer third. One pitch. Big swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Well, Alec Craig flew out on the second pitch of the first inning, but since then it's been homer, hit by pitch, fielder's choice, reached RBI single from Prater and a hit by pitch to Alex Kolarko. It's Beal on third with Prater on second, and now Kolarko on first. Nickel trying to bring somebody in, extend that lead in the bottom of the first inning. 1-2. In the dirt, evens the count up at 2 apiece. Nickel, his third professional season. Spent 11 games in the Frontier League in 2024 with the Tri-City Valley Cats. So this is his second Frontier League season. That's ripped down the line, and it's foul over to the Otters bullpen. Now it still remains a 2-2 here with Nickel trying to bring in a run. Strikeout here would be a big out number 2, though, for Encarnacion, especially with a lefty and Tony Livermore on deck. Two-two, yet again for JD. A little high, it's ball 3. And nowhere to put him here. Walk brings in another run. It's been a rough first inning here for Encarnacion, as it's been the last few games for the Otters in general. Foul tip into the glove, and it's strike 3. Needed that one. Got a big out number 2, and it's the first K of the day for Encarnacion. You couldn't walk him there. It would only extend that lead further, and they're already down 1. Tony Livermore. This time now with the bases still loaded, now with only 2 outs. One more out to work with here in the first inning. Grounder to second. Jones will throw on to first, and that's out number 3. Well, 2 runs come in for Schaumburg, but it definitely could have been worse as we head to the second inning. 2-1 Boomers on the Otters Digital Network. Second innings brought to you by J.E. Shekel Armor Protection. Founded in 1978, J.E. Shekel is the Tri-State's premier residential, commercial, industrial service and construction company. Marcos Gonzalez leads off. The Otters had a lead for a little bit, but now they're down 2-1 in the top of the second inning against the Boomers. First pitch called a strike. Marcos Gonzalez hitting .333 when he leads off an inning. Overall this season, Gonzalez is hitting .315 after another 3-hit day, his third of the season. 3 for 6 yesterday against Mississippi as he takes strike 2. Timeout called by Gonzalez. Bases empty, he's hitting 200. 6 for 30. 2 of his 3 home runs, though, have been solo shots that have come with the bases empty. Now stepping off is Thompson. Grounder foul, and it will remain 0-2. Well, it's a pretty even split between ground ball, strikeout, and flyout rates. He does give up the ground ball a little bit more at 42.9%, but 30% on the strikeouts. There's a ground ball right there. Over to second base. Throw on to first from Livermore is out number 1 in the top of the second inning. Flyouts at the lowest rate, 26.8%. LG Castillo will take his first at-bat of the day here against Thompson. He went 1 for 4 yesterday. Had an RBI, walked twice, scored twice as well. Overall in the series, he went 3 for 8. Didn't play in the middle game. Called a strike. It's 0-1. Now Castillo with his hit yesterday now is a hit in 10 of his first 12 games with the Otters. That one will miss. It's 1-1. Righties are hitting better than lefties against Thompson this season. 226 for right-handed hitters compared to 200 for lefties. Overall, just a pretty good opposing average for Mr. Thompson at 225. Last year with the Boomers, it was 280, where he had a 5.58 ERA. Called a strike. It's 2-2. 2-1. Boomers here in the top of the second inning. Sam Linsky had a solo shot in the first pitch of the game, but the Boomers came back and showed some of that offense that they have been doing so well at home, but unfortunately not on the road. Outside, it's a full count, 3-2. No, Ross Thompson, only 5 walks this season compared to 31 strikeouts, so a walk here would be quite rare in terms of how Thompson has been performing so far this season. Payoff pitch. That is ball 4. So a rare base on balls given up by Thompson. That's his 6th of the season. He did walk 2 in his last outing, but doesn't do it quite often. Free pass, though, has LG Castillo at first with 1 out for Mark Black. Mark Black has been struggling so far as of recent as he takes outside fastball for ball 1. Played 1 game, the middle game against Mississippi, went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Outside for ball 2. Now Mark Black started off the year 9 for 14 in his first 4 games of the season. Since then, he has only gone 3 for 34. That is called a low strike. It's 2-1. .3 strikeouts per 9 for Thompson. 2-1. Misses, and it's 3-1. Now, back-to-back walks would be very rare for Thompson. Not able to really locate too much, at least compared to his standards. 3-1, runner goes. There's a grounder over to third base. They're not going to have a play at second. They're on to first by Prater, is scooped up there by Bonkowski, and that's the second out. A good decision from LG Castillo to get the head start. Stop the double play ball. That'll bring up TJ Salvaggio, his first at-bat of the day as a runner in scoring position. And he tends to do well with the RISP. 3:06 with runners in scoring position as he fouls one off to the right side. Can't see it, but here at Wintrust Field today is Princesses and Pirates Night at the ballpark. They made the scoreboard graphics with the headshots of the players princess themed, so they have Salvaggio and a tiara. It's a nice look, honestly. It's a pretty nice look. 0-2 as CJ calls his hitter's timeout. LG Castillo at second base with 2 outs. He's representing the tying run here in the top of the second inning. Check swing foul over near the on-deck circle of the Boomers. That'll remain at 0-2. 7-game hitting streak for Salvaggio. Only has 1 hit per game in his last 4, though. One for 6 yesterday. Hit a double, drove in 2 runs. Another one fouled off. Thompson looking to get that 33rd strikeout of the year. Another 0-2 after a few foul balls. A little outside, it's 1-2. Got 1 hit in each of the 3 games against Mississippi overall. Went 3 for 12, hit a double, drove in 4 runs, struck out 3 times as well. The 1-2. That's a grounder up the middle over to short. Craig throw on to first in time. And another close play at first base. Salvaggio almost beat it out. Didn't quite get it there, though, as Craig gets him out. That's out number 3. Otters put a runner in scoring position in Castillo. He's not able to come around as we head to the bottom of the second inning. 2-1 Boomers on the Otters Digital Network. Welcome back. Bottom of the second inning here in Schaumburg. The Boomers have a 2-1 lead over the Otters. First pitch to Mitch Bonkowski is called a strike. Bonkowski is a new signing for Schaumburg. One of the guys that played his last collegiate season in 2026. That's bobbled off of Encarnacion. He'll recover, though, and throw on to first for out number 1. It was a slow roller, got off the end of the glove of Encarnacion. Didn't roll too far away, though. So 1 out. Encarnacion in the first inning got the first out quickly as well, but ended up giving up the 2 runs as the next 5 reached in the first. First pitch called a strike to Alec Craig. Alec Craig, one of the veterans in the, not only for the Boomers, but overall for the Frontier League. Fly ball into right center field. That's going to get down for extra bases all the way to the wall. Craig is heading for second base. He takes a wide turn around second. He'll get in there with a double. And it's starting again here in the second inning. And Encarnacion gets the first out relatively quickly, and the hit parade starts for Schaumburg. Let's see if JD can get out of this one without allowing that run to come in to score. Fitzgerald hit a home run in his first at-bat last inning. Tied the game up at 1. Now it's 2-1 after the RBI single from Will Prater in the first inning. First pitch a little low and away for ball 1. Last season, the Boomers went 7-2 against the Otters. They lost the first 2 games. Griff Hughes was the winning pitcher in their first meeting last season. Shout out to Griff, as that one's fouled away, and it's 1-2. They lost the first 2 games. That was at Bosse Field, but then they won the next 7. 7 of the next 7, including all 6 matchups here at Wintrust Field. We play here 6 times again this season. Meanwhile, the Boomers only come to Evansville once, and that's in a week and a half. Or no, it might just be a week. It's just a week, because that series starts a week from today on the 12th through the 14th, and we'll see the Clydesdales. Shout out the Clydesdales. 1-2 is a high drive into right field, but it'll veer off foul. It'll stay at 0-2. Fitzgerald, last season, 281, 85 hits in 88 games. Walked 44 times, had 78 strikeouts. Went 7 for 28 against the Otters, hit 2 homers, drove in 9. He's already got a homer here against the Otters in 2026. Grounder to third, Gonzalez, long throw to first, and it's in time for out number 2. No advance at second base from Craig. He'll stay there.
Now batting right fielder number 21, Kellum Clark.
Well, we barely got to see any of Kellum Clark because he got hit on the first pitch he saw. A little unfortunate for him because he literally just got back from the IL. This is his first game since May 19th against Down East. Went 1 for 5 with a run and a strikeout. It was on the 14 day, placed there on May 23rd. Retroactive to May 20th and then got activated yesterday. Not the warmest of welcomes back, getting hit by a pitch. He hasn't gotten any pitches to hit so far today, because it's now 2-0 against him. That's a base hit into right field. Getting the round at third is Alec Craig. He'll come in to score. And it's an RBI single for Kellum Clark. The Boomers have a 3-1 lead.
Now batting center fielder number 4, Miles Beal.
Oh, Kellum Clark might have been a good piece of that offense that the Boomers have been missing so far the past 2 weeks, as he drives in his 9th run of the season. First RBI since May 15th. He was off to a hot start before getting injured. Was at a 289. Goes up after the base hit. First pitch called a strike to Miles Beal. Ended up reaching on a fielder's choice. Moving it all the way to third, but didn't end up coming around to score. 0-1. Misses a little low. Miles Beal, his first professional season, he's off to a very hot start. He was with Northwood last season. Northwood College from 22 to 25. He hit .364 last year. Fouled away off to the left side. It's 1-2. Northwood is in Midland, Michigan, a little bit north of Lansing, near where he's from, Grand Rapids, Michigan. See, Michigan is sort of the oven mitt. It's kind of where the thumb meets the actual mitt part. That little area of Michigan is where Midland, Michigan is. 2-2. Now Beal hitting .305, 11-game hitting streak. Also a 16-game on-base streak. Another one fouled away. Another one off to the left side. Look out, concourse. Good thing there's some canopies over there that they landed on top of. Already a decently high pitch count for Encarnacion through an inning and 2/3. Pitch number 42, and another 2-2 with 2 outs. On the way for JD. Fly ball into right field. Mark Black gets there. Nice line drive. The Mark Black positioned perfectly out there in right field. He catches it for out number 3. The Boomers bring in another run. RBI single from Kellum Clark. And it's 3-1 Schaumburg as we head to the third on the Otters Digital Network. Third inning brought to you by Precision Pest and Wildlife. Every great team brings precision to the field. We bring it to your home and business. Call 812-993-3341 or visit precisionpestwildlife.com. Let's elevate the standard together. Sam Linscott elevated the first pitch of the game over the center field wall in left center for a home run. Only run the Otters have so far today, and he's back up. Top of the lineup leading off here, it's Linscott, Jones, and Brown, as Linscott took a strike after showing bunt and pulling it back. It's 0-1. It is just inside for ball 1. Now Linscott got his first home run out of the way in his last at-bat. 1 home run to 6 RBIs now. Blooper into center field and another base hit for Linscott. He's 2 for 2 today. He's enjoying his time at the top of the lineup. Monty Jones now representing the tying run. Linscott, 5 stolen bases so far this season. Did steal a bag yesterday as well. Last at bat for Amani Jones. He grounded out to first base, as that one's low for ball 1. Well, for Ross Thompson, this is his 4th season in the Frontier League. Last season he played with 3 different teams, as the throw back to first is not in time. He played for Tri-City. Originally was with Florence, didn't end up playing in a game with them though. Got released by them, signed with Tri-City on May 22nd, played 5 games with them. Got released. So that's outside. Had a 1.131 ERA in 13 2/3 after being released by Florence. Got traded to Evansville for a 2026 first-round pick and only pitched in 3 1/3 with Evansville before getting released and then signing with Schaumburg before his 5.58 ERA in 30 2/3 innings. Coincidentally, too, his first game with Schaumburg was against Evansville on the 4th of July, in which he pitched 2 1/3 innings, gave up 2 runs, 3 hits, but struck out 2. That's right at second base, and Livermore extends to make the catch. Linscott able to get back to first, but that's out number 1. That was a nice shot by Jones. Just couldn't get it past Livermore. Would have been most likely a 1st to 3rd situation for Linscott, as that kind of would have gone into right center field. Logan Brown now with a man on first and 1 out. Called a strike. Thompson made 1 appearance in the playoffs, and that was in the championship series, September 20th against Quebec. Through 4 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, 3 hits, struck out 4. And they got Linscott in a rundown between first and second base. Throw over to first, dug out there and bobbled at first. And no play, as Thompson had it, and he could not gather and make the throw over to second. Linscott will take second on the stolen base. It was a low throw at short from Craig, as it was already bobbled by Thompson. He could not recover, and so Linscott will move into scoring position. That could have been really bad for Linscott as well. He was kind of deking at second base, and he got caught sleeping. There's a fly ball into left center. Nice running grab out there by Beal. As that's out number 2, Linscott retreats back to second base. Now, Miles Beal, just like Linscott and John Ponder, has a lot of speed out there in center field. Dennis Pierce will try to bring in that run from second base. The Otters have had a runner in scoring position now the last 2 innings, and they couldn't bring LG Castillo in from second base last inning. See if they can do something different here with Linscott in the 3rd. First pitch, a little low and away for ball 1. Pierce singled. He's 1 for 1 today. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. Thompson's 28 years old. He's from Wadsworth, Ohio, west of Akron, a little bit south of Cleveland, a little closer to the Lake Erie Crushers than any other team in the Frontier League. 1-1 is a slow roller foul. 3-1 Schaumburg here in the top of the 3rd inning, as the Boomers have scored 2 in the 1st and 1 in the 2nd. against Encarnacion. 1-2 is fouled into the glove, but dropped by Calarco. So Dennis Pierce stays alive. Could have been a possible strike three. Calarco couldn't hold on, though. It will remain at 1-2. I mentioned Thompson's fourth year in the league. He spent a couple years with the Florence Yalls. 2023, 17 2/3. 2024, 59 1/3. Gave up a good amount of home runs in 2024, 10 of them. Another 1-2 is a high fly ball into center field. Miles Beal has plenty of room, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. So Lynn Scott advances to second base on the stolen bag, but 2 flyouts to center don't allow him to score. It's still 3-1 here, as Schaumburg has a 2-run lead, heading to the bottom of the third on the Otters Digital Network. Bottom of the third. We had a little bit of a longer half inning there because of a special presentation on the field as Warriors running the bases for the Schaumburg Boomers. But we're here, ready to go for bottom three. First pitch misses for ball one. Will Prater leads it off against Encarnacion. It's Prater, Kolarko, and Jeff Nickel, top three, in the bottom of three. Called a strike. Will Prater drove in Kellum Clark with an RBI single in the first inning. Shows bunt, pops it up, foul, and it's 1-2. Prater hitting at a 259 coming into this game, and 24th game of the year, 2 home runs, 19 RBIs. And he's got 9 walks compared to 16 strikeouts. Ripped right at short and caught by Salvaggio for out number 1. That was a line out just like Amani Jones's in the last half inning, except instead of going to second base, it went to shortstop. Alex Kolarko, walk-up song, Jay-Z, like it. Now with the bases empty, Kolarko not hitting the best. Just hitting at a 355. Nothing too special. 11 for 31. He's got 3 doubles. There's a drive into right field, and that average will rise with nobody on as he hits a single. And he's reached now twice in 2 at-bats. Jeff Nickel was on with the bases loaded and 1 out and struck out swinging. So he's looking to redeem himself here in his second at-bat. First pitch called a strike. Nickel, the only strikeout victim for JD so far today, as a man on first with 1 out. 3-1 Schaumburg in the bottom of the third inning. High fly ball into shallow center. Salvaggio calls everybody off, and he will make the catch, almost falling down, as he had to backpedal a lot there, but he does hold on to it for out number 2. Alex Kolarko will stay at first, and it's Tony Livermore coming in for his second at-bat. Grounded out to Amani Jones to end the first inning in his first at-bat. Livermore, another local guy here from Chicago. Shows bunt, pulls it back, called strike 1. Now Livermore batting from the left side, 24 years old. Standing at only 5'9". He hasn't really gotten off to the hottest start, though, hitting-wise. 228 now in his 18th game of the year. Outside, it's 1-1. This is a Boomers team that led the league in runs last season. 686. Team record. Previous mark, about 124 runs lower than that. That's how good their offense was last season. They're first in runs, first in hits, first in home runs, first in doubles, second in walks, second in average. It was a dominant force. This season, though, 12th in runs, 14th in hits, 14th in doubles, 17th in home runs, and 15th in average. They've been hitting the ball well so far today. So that one will miss. It's 3-2 now with 2 outs. Runner at first will get a head start, Alex Kolarko. Payoff pitch. Got him swinging. Second strikeout of the day for Encarnacion in his first scoreless frame of the day. Brings us to the fourth inning. 3-1 Schaumburg on the Otters Digital Network. Blake Robertson leads it off here in the fourth inning as the Otters find themselves down 2 runs. Robertson in his first at bat flew out to left field. He grounds one down the first base line foul, and it's 0-1. Well, Thompson gave up that home run on the first pitch, but has settled down quite a bit since. He's given up one runner per inning, but nothing doing in terms of run scoring. One. There's a grounder over to deep short, throw on to first, and a quick throw from Craig is able to beat out Robertson at first base as that's out number 1. A bit of a quick trigger there for Robertson. Marcos Gonzalez. First pitch is just a little inside. Thompson spent his collegiate seasons. Last one was at St. Ambrose. There's a fly ball into right field. Going back is Clark. He'll make the catch fighting the sun. Is pretty much the only position fighting the sun out there in right field, and that's out number 2. A quick 2 outs here for Thompson. LG Castillo. Nobody on, 2 outs. It's been a quick frame here for Ross Thompson. Now, Thompson was at St. Ambrose in 2023. Started his career at Capital University for 3 seasons, then went to Heidelberg for 3 years, and finally St. Ambrose in 2023. Grounder up the middle over to second base. Throw to first from Livermore, and a quick 1-2-3 frame for Schaumburg. The Otters go down in order in the top of the 4th inning. We're heading to the bottom of the 4th. 3-1 Schaumburg on the Otters Digital Network. Fourth inning is brought to you by Sheet Metal Workers Local 20. For 138 years, sheet metal workers have led the way in sheet metal industries like heating and air, architectural, industrial, and more. Visit smart20evansville.com for more information. Mitch Bonkowski leads off the top of the fourth, or the bottom of the fourth for the Boomers against JD Encarnacion. It was a speedy, fast top half of the fourth for Ross Thompson. Fly ball into deep center field for Linscott, and that one is gone. First professional home run for Mitch Bonkowski. And it is 4-1 Schaumburg. Oh, Mitch Bonkowski just played his last collegiate season a few weeks ago, and now he has his first home run as a professional to lead off the bottom of the fourth for Schaumburg. They now lead it by 3. That'll bring up Alec Craig back to the top of the order for Schaumburg. Inside for ball 1. Craig has a fly out to center and a double, ended up scoring in the second inning. That was his last at-bat. It's outside, and it's 2-0. Called a strike. It's 2-1. Alec Craig, his 6th season with Schaumburg. He now has the Frontier League record for walks in a career. Had that 421st walk of his career on May 29th against Florence. Called a strike. It's 2-2. Grounder over to second base. Throw to first from Jones is in time. And that's out number 1.
Now batting left fielder number 5, Kyle Fitzgerald.
Kyle Fitzgerald up for his third at-bat. He's got a homer today as well. And now 2 homers for the Boomers today. First pitch misses just off a little bit for ball 1. Kyle Fitzgerald from Brookfield. Played at Northwest Florida for 2 seasons, then transferred to St. Louis. Spent the last 3 seasons over there. Ball 3. Called a strike. It's 3-1. That one's inside, and it'll be ball 4. As taking the walk is Fitzgerald.
Now batting right fielder number 21, Kellum Clark.
I'll bring up Kellum Clark. Kellum Clark has had a pretty good day offensively so far. Got hit by a pitch, ended up singling in a run in the second inning. Grounder down the first base line, foul. 1-1. That's the first walk issued by Encarnacion so far. Grounder down the first baseline, foul. That'll make it 1-2. Now Kellum Clark, 25 years old. He's from Brandon, Missouri, or Mississippi. I've done that twice now. Keep on mistaking Missouri and Mississippi. They sound the same. That one's low and away. It's 2-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3. And going down swinging is Kellum Clark. Third strikeout of the day for Encarnacion, and that's out number 2. A little high. Fly ball and a foul ground. Gonzalez has time. He calls off Salvaggio, makes the catch, and that is out number 3. So the home run for Bonkowski brings in another run for Schaumburg. It's 4-1 as we head to the 5th inning on the Otters Digital Network. Mark Black leads off the top of the 5th inning. 5th inning's brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Bottomless apps are now here, dine-in only. Visit either Evansville locations, 5405 Pearl Drive and 715 North Green River Road for details. Boomer's got another run in the bottom of the 4th inning as time is called, as there is a ball on the field. There is some movement going on over in the Otters bullpen. And now we're about to get the first pitch here in the 5th inning. Mark Black who leads it off. Grounded out to third base in his first at-bat. The Otters haven't done too much offensively here today. Oh, 1. Called a strike. It's 0-2. Ross Thompson pitching pretty well so far today. Not too close to his season high yet. He's through 8 innings against Mississippi. Gave up 3 runs, struck out 8. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Only the second strikeout of the day for Thompson, as he's been getting a lot of soft contact, and it's been able to get the job done for the Boomers. First pitch, TJ Salvaggio in the 9 spot so far today. Called a strike. It's 1-1. A little outside. Oh, with St. Ambrose, 2023, didn't actually end up playing in a game. He was on the he wasn't on the roster. He played in the fall of 2022 with them, but didn't actually end up appearing in a game with them in the 2023 season. There's a fly ball into deep center field. Going back is Beal, and that's over the wall for a solo shot. TJ Salvaggio hits a solo homer. And it's 4-2 here in the 5th inning. Nice little home run party here for the Otters. Sam Linscott. After the solo homer, Linscott has the other solo homer in this game. One that was on the first pitch of the game. Takes a strike. It's 0-1. Swung on and missed. Linscott's 2 for 2 today. He's got that solo home run in the first inning. He also has a single in the third. A little outside. Thompson season in Heidelberg, 2020 to 2022. Heidelberg's in Tiffin, Ohio, a little bit south of Toledo. He had a 4.44 ERA in 71 innings with Heidelberg. Didn't walk a lot of guys there either. 8 walks compared to 50 strikeouts as he strikes out Linscott. He's got his second K of the inning, 3rd overall today. And there's 2 outs now for Amani Jones. First pitch misses to Amani Jones. 0 for 2 so far today. Grounded out to first base over to Bonkowski and lined out to Livermore at second base. Called a strike. It's 1-1. Instead of it being with St. Ambrose, Thompson played with the Kenosha Kingfish. 3.90 ERA at 55 1/3 before signing that professional deal with Florence. Schaumburg has been home to a lot of returners, a lot of the older guys in the league. Thompson's 28, Alec Craig is 29, Fitzgerald's 27, Prater's 27. It is an older group compared to the younger guys for the Otters. Monty Jones swings and misses at strike 2. He didn't seem happy about swinging at that one. Two and two. Another ball on the field for the Otters. I wonder if, I'm not too sure if that's the Otters. I think that actually might just be the fans out there on the lawn in left field. I think it is. And now caused the game to stop twice now. So another quick delay, but we're back at it here, 2 and 2. Jones gets a piece of it, fouls it away. "4-2 Boomers here in the top of the 5th inning. TJ Salvaggio hit his 3rd home run of the season to start off the inning after the strikeout of Mark Black. And the defensive swing for Jones, and all 3 outs were decided via the strikeout in the 5th inning for Thompson, but Salvaggio's solo home run gets the Otters another run across the board. They're still down 2, though, as we're halfway home at Wintrust Field on the Otters Digital Network. I have another question for the audience. So right now we're in northern Chicago, the north side to be exact. We were in the south side in Windy City yesterday. So my question is, for every Chicagoan who's watching, which might not be that many of you, but what percentage of fans ride Cubs compared to White Sox? I'm not from Chicago. I don't know. I would assume, just based off of, no offense to all you White Sox fans out there, I know you're out there somewhere, but I'd have to assume it is mostly Cubs. That's just my opinion. Could be wrong. You never know. I've seen multiple Cubs jerseys, though, today, which is what brought up the question. First pitch to Will Prater is fouled back for strike 1. I have a nice little reading lamp in the press box because there's no lights. It's kind of nice. It's a nice little vibe. Base hit into center field, and Will Prater is 2 for 3 today. He leads off the bottom of the 5th with a single. Alex Kolarko up for his 3rd at-bat of the day. He's reached twice so far. Got hit by a pitch in the 1st inning, singled in the 3rd. 1 for 1 on the day. First pitch called a strike. Kolarko, another native of the area, Chicagoland area, him and his brother Anthony from Streamwood, Illinois. As Kolarko calls time. Last year he was with Schaumburg. He was also in his last collegiate season with the Maryland Terrapins. Shout out the Terrapins. Fly ball into center field, and that will drop in for a base hit. Back-to-back singles to lead off the bottom of the 5th for Schaumburg. And there's 2 on with nobody out for Jeff Nickel.
Now batting is designated hitter number 12, Jeff Nickel.
Seems as though, so you look at the replay, Lynn Scott kind of had a weird route on that one. Didn't let it get past him, though, luckily. So Prater at second, Kolarko at first with nobody out to lead off the 5th inning. That is hit into left field, and that'll drop in for a base hit. Rounding third is Prater. Throw to the plate is not in time. And 3 straight singles. Jeff Nickel drives in another run, and it's back to a 3-run lead for Schaumburg. It's 5-2. Max Peterson's going to come out to have a mound visit. Logan Brown, all the infield coming in as well. Still don't have any movement in the bullpens, but I'm sure there will be some movement soon after the first 3 here get on all via the base hit. 5 runs on 9 hits for Evansville, and the starting pitching that was great last week is continuing to struggle here this week against Mississippi and Schaumburg. And they pitched well against a Windy City team that is apparently the best offense in all of professional sports as of right now. They've scored now 12 runs in 4 straight games because they're beating Joliet 12-6 in the 4th inning. They're seeing beach balls over there, down south of where we are. I don't know what's going on with them. They'll have somebody warming up in the bullpen. 1-0. Bunt dropped down the third base line. It goes foul, though, and it's 1-1. Bullpens are a little bit easier to see here in Schaumburg. Dylan Zentko is the first guy out of the pen for the Otters. Zentko, one of the 2 lefties in the bullpen for the Otters. David Eckes is the other one. Corner's crushed in here, up on the grass. Grounder down the first base line, foul, as the bunt wasn't shown there by Livermore. Take a look at the replay. His team does have some speed as Prater almost loses the helmet heading to home, but he just barely kept it on, was able to slide in safely. The 1-2 from Encarnacion is going to miss a little high. Well, Livermore and Alex Kolarko were teammates in college at Northwestern 2022 and 2023. And these guys know each other very well, and now they're here on Schaumburg. This is Livermore's second season with Schaumburg. He really struggled, though, in his first season last year. 148. Had a 4 for 27 in 11 games. One game against Evansville, he went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Fly ball into left field. Castillo will make the catch, and that is out number 1. Both runners will retreat back to their respective bases. No advancement from anybody, and that's out number 1 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Mitch Bonkowski hit his first professional home run in his last at-bat. It was against the Otters, but a big congrats to Bonkowski, a big achievement for him, especially coming off of just playing in the GLVC tournament a few weeks ago. Maybe not even, maybe just like 2 or 3 weeks ago. He was with Missouri St. Louis. Midwest Regional they advanced to. They ended up losing, though, to Illinois Springfield and U-Indy, Indianapolis. They got eliminated and then immediately got a contract with Schaumburg. And deservedly so. He hit .438 this season with Missouri St. Louis. That's an all-time season right there. 92 hits in 56 games. He almost averaged 2 hits per game. Hit 23 homers. And drove in 75 runs. Inside, it's 2-1. Bonkowski had a litany of awards after that season. First team all Great Lakes Valley Conference. First team all region in 3 different categories. Throw to second for 1 for Gonzalez. On to first, not in time. And a fielder's choice reached by Bonkowski. Gets out number 2, though, as Nichols out at second base. Calarco will advance to third. Back to the top of the lineup, Alec Craig. Runners at the corners, 2 outs. Run already in here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Jeff Nickel, the RBI single, made it 5-2. See if Encarnacion can go 5 full here. Even with giving up the 5 runs. First pitch is called a strike to Craig. Bonkowski over at first. Not too much of a base stealer, but we'll see if he tries to go here. Maybe induce a throw. So that one's fouled away. It's 0-2 against Craig. Craig only standing at 5'9". This is a relatively short team. Have some power, though. That's for sure. Craig has been with the team for a while. He's been the team so long he won that Frontier League championship back in 2021. Another foul off to the left side. Foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. Remains at 0-2. Schaumburg is the last team not named the Quebec Capitals to win the Frontier League championship. Back when we were still wearing masks and worried about getting the old COVID. Not like the big part, like 2020, but 2021. We were still concerned. Swung on and missed, strike 3. 4 strikeouts for Encarnacion. As that is out number 3 in the 5th inning. He goes 5 full, but does give up another run. 5 in total, and it's 5-2. Schaumburg heading to the 6th inning on the Otters Digital Network. Well, I've seen a lot of things in my time, but shaving cream, sunscreen, and insect repellent race has definitely got to be a first for everybody watching on Home Team Network. For everybody on YouTube, you're probably insanely confused as to what I'm saying. They just had a mid-inning entertainment race. You know, we race. We do the Legends race, Wrights, Harrison, Bossy, but they do insect repellent, sunscreen, and shaving cream. I'm not going to ask if you won't ask. Logan Brown leads it off in the top of the 6th inning. The Otters had the lead down to 2 for Schaumburg, but another run came in for the Boomers in the bottom of the 5th inning, and now they're back down by 3. First pitch fouled way away, and it's 0-1. Logan Brown is 0 for 2 as a strikeout and a flyout to center. Two runs on 4 hits, 1 error for the Otters so far today. 5 runs on 9 hits with no errors for Schaumburg. The Otters, when they commit an error, still 7-6, but when they don't have an error, it's a lot better at 8-2. High fly ball, foul ground, maybe enough space over there at first. Goes up against the netting, though, as Bonkowski isn't able to make the play. He had a chance, but it bounced off his glove off the netting, which meant it was a dead ball. 1-2 now to Logan Brown. And we'll do it again here. Thompson trying to go 6 innings. Only giving up the 2 solo home runs is the only 2 runs so far, but he's doubled his home run total in 1 game. His first 2 home runs were given up in the same game as well, as 19th against Down East, he gave up 5 earned runs with the 2 homers. Still got the win, though. Grounder off the glove of the diving Livermore, and it's going to get into right field. Logan Brown's not going to test it, though. He'll just stay at first with the single. Logan Brown gets his first hit of the day, and the leadoff man is on here in the top of the 6th inning. Third time today the leadoff man has gotten a base hit. Dennis Pierce. Only hit number 5 for the Otters. After their 16-hit performance yesterday, 13 runs, the road offense is seeming to have come back here in northern Chicago area, otherwise known as the village of Schaumburg. As a plane flies overhead, it's 1-1. That plane is very close. Thompson with Heidelberg in 2022. 5+ innings in every game except 2, 10 of 12. He pitched 71 innings, 4.44 ERA. He never walked more than 2 batters in an outing. That's because he only had 8 walks compared to 50 strikeouts. He's always been like this. He's always done a good job at limiting the walks and locating very well. And that's what's made him great in college, and that's what got him this pro contract. It's what has brought him into the league for this long. There's a fly ball that's going to get into the gap in right center field. It's going to get all the way to the warning track. Logan Brown gets the stop sign at third, but Dennis Pierce has himself a double at second and third with nobody out to lead off the top of the 6th inning. The Otters trying to get some hits together, and that will get some movement going in the bullpen. It'll be B-Rob trying to bring him in. Blake Robertson Second and third, no outs. First pitch is called a strike. In other news, in the Frontier League, 17-3, New York Boulders, 10 runs driven in by Fritz Genther. That's the Frontier League record. He's just tied it. He's got 10 ribbies today. As we take a look inside the bullpen, it is number 29 in the bullpen. That is Holland Towns. Holland Towns is in the pen. He'll look to be the first one out here for Schaumburg. Swing and a miss, strike 3 as Robertson goes down on 3 pitches. Strikeout number 5 on the day for Thompson. That might be the day for him. Mound visit coming the way of the Boomers. Pitching coach Jake Joyce for the Boomers. Jake Joyce in his 4th season. He's 34 years old, coming from Collinsville, Virginia. He played for Virginia Tech for 4 seasons before being drafted in the 9th round in 2013 by the Nationals. He has the most pitching appearances in Frontier League history because, well, he played 8 seasons with Schaumburg. I was overestimating him a little bit. 8 seasons with Schaumburg. He was there from 2015 to 2018 and then joined in 2021 for that championship run and played up until 2024. Exactly 300 appearances. For anybody with OCD, that is perfect. Perfect 300 for Jake Joyce. And now he's in the coaching ranks. First pitch called a strike to Marcos Gonzalez. Second and third now with 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Otters trying to make this game a little bit more interesting here in the 6th. Swing and a miss, it's 0-2. Marcos is 0 for 2. He's got a grounder to second, fly out to right field. So far 0 for 2 on the day. They'll call time here. The single by Logan Brown, double by Dennis Pierce, has those runners at second and third, but then 3 pitches, strikeout of Robertson. Little high, it's 1-2. Marcos Gonzalez has been hitting the ball well recently. Mentioned before he had that 3-hit game yesterday. Runners in scoring position. Gonzalez is hitting .379. Just misses, and it's 2-2. It's LG Castillo on deck. Oh, 2 to 2-2. Thompson kicks and deals. Fouled away. Well, Thompson not really throwing the hardest, but does just have a lot of pitches, good movement as well. That's what's gotten him through 5 1/3 here. He's trying to get through that 6th, though. If those 2 runs score, he might not be able to. Staying alive again is Gonzalez. He'll do it again at 2-2. Thompson, 3.66 ERA at home. 5.4 on the road, only that 1 start. A 2.11 opponent average here at Wintrust Field. Reaches out and just grounds one back to the pitcher. No play at home. Throw to first is in time. The run comes in to score as Brown comes in from third. Marcos Gonzalez with the RBI ground out. And it's 5-3. And you can see Thompson looking back to home, but realized that Logan Brown was already pretty much crossing the plate. He had no play there, so might as well get the out at first. Out number 2. Logan Brown read that perfectly off the bat as well. Immediately started going to home, and he was able to get there easily. Castillo took a strike. It's 0-1. Dennis Pierce advanced to third as well, so he's now 90 feet away, but 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Little outside. It's 1-1. Castillo has a walk and a ground out to second. His 2 at-bats today. Otters at least trying to make this a 1-run game. Want to bring in that run from third. High chopper over to third. Bare hand throw to first. Great play. And they get out number 3. Will Prater with the bare hand just barely gets Castillo at first base, and that saves a run from coming in. But the Otters do score 1. It's 5-3 as we take a look at the replay. Pretty much all Prater could do was get that with the bare hand, and he played it perfectly. We're heading to the bottom of the 6th on the Otters Digital Network. There's Cinderella. It is Pirates and Princesses night here at Wintrust Field. So we got a Cinderella, we got Tinkerbell. I saw Snow White earlier. We also had a bunch of people dressed up as pirates. A couple Johnny Depps out there in the crowd, and a pretty fun day here at the ballpark on this Friday night. Hopefully we don't get rain. The sky's looking a little dark. We have a pitching change brought to you by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or give them a call at 812-475-9K. Dylan Zentko is into the game, second outing of the season. In his professional debut back on the 3rd, he threw a scoreless frame. First pitch called a strike is Kyle Fitzgerald, Kellum Clark, and Miles Beal, the top 3 leading off the bottom of the 6th inning. Last 4 half innings have brought 1 run across. 1 in the bottom of the 4th, 1 in the top of the 5th, 1 in the bottom of the 5th, then 1 in the top of the 6th inning, and we're sitting here at 5-3. As everyone slowly, the Boomers are slowly moving away, and the Otters are slowly climbing back. 0-2. Little outside. Fitzgerald has a solo homer in the 1st inning. He grounded out to 3rd in the 2nd inning, walked in the 4th. 1 for 2 so far today. Now the 1-2 count. That is ripped the other way into right field for a base hit, and Kyle Fitzgerald has his 2nd hit of the day. Second straight leadoff single for the Boomers. Kellum Clark having a pretty good first game after coming back from the IL. Got hit by a pitch. Ended up scoring in the first inning, singled in a run in the second, struck out swinging in the fourth. Called a ball. So J.D. Encarnacion, he comes out of the game with 5 innings pitched, 9 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Just a lot of hits given up, but was able to limit the walks. 2-0 to Clark. Clark was on the Rocky Mountain Vibes last season in the Pioneer League. Hit .377 in 58 games. Hit 12 homers, drove in 70 runs, and walked 45 times. As he fouls one back, makes it 2-1. Originally a 20th round draft pick in 2023 out of Mississippi State. Called strike 2, and it's 2-2. Kellum Clark spent some time on the Fighting JT Bensons, otherwise known as the Brooklyn Cyclones. Got released by the Cyclones, though, in November of 2024, joined Rocky Mountain for 2025, and is now here. Little high, it's 3-2. With Brooklyn, he had a .203 average in 60 games. Hit .138 with runners in scoring position, but actually had a very good July, hit .328. Throw back to first, a little high, and Blake Robertson is able to keep it there. Overall, 90 games in the minor leagues for Kellum Clark. He hit .213. Hit 1 homer, 24 RBIs. Payoff pitch from Zentko. Fouled away. There it goes. Foul ball brought to you by Hes Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. That Mississippi State season, he had a .299 average in 2023. 52 games. Had his best stats by far of all 3 of his state years at Mississippi State. Decided to stay in state for college. '16 multi-hit games. Got drafted, was in the Florida Complex League for 2023. Got moved up relatively quickly to St. Lucie, though. 3-2, check swing, did not go around, and it's ball 4.
Now batting center fielder number 4, Miles Bishop.
2 on with nobody out in the 6th inning. And the Boomers are looking to continue the streak of 1 run scored. Miles Beal. Oh, Beal's been the best hitter for Schaumburg with so far 0 for 3 today. Corners are in, up on the grass, ripped down the line. Look out, bullpen for the Otters. 0-1. Zetko played this season with Murray State before signing with the Otters. Made the All-Missouri Valley Conference 2nd team after he was 2nd in the conference in saves. Both runners go, throw to nowhere, as both runners will take 2nd and 3rd. First stolen bases of the game for either side, as Fitzgerald takes 3rd, Clark takes 2nd, and well, I guess Fitzgerald saw something that he had to go for. You got a great jump on it as well. Stole 3rd without even a throw. Now a good spot here offensively as all the infield moves in on the grass. Swung on and missed. It's 1-2. Timeout called by Beal, who's sitting now in a little hole here, 1-2. Zenko would be a big spot here for his first pro strikeout. 1-2. In the dirt. Good block from Logan Brown. It's 2-2. And through that scoreless inning on Wednesday against Mississippi. Didn't get that strikeout, though. Him and Joe Morrissey still looking for their first. The first road outing as a professional for Zenko. 2-2. Down the line, foul yet again. A long at bat here for Beal. Was with the USPBL after his last collegiate season last year at Northwood. With the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, 295 average in 46 games. Was an all-star, first-team selection, as well as a USPBL champion. Grounder, that's past Salvaggio into left field for a base hit. One run comes in. Clark wasn't even going to get a throw as his helmet flies off as he crosses the plate. It's 7-3 as Miles Beal brings in 2 more for the Boomers. So with the infield in, there was no opportunity for either Salvaggio or Gonzalez as Clark tried to test the arm of Castillo. Castillo didn't even get a throw off over there. And it is back to a 4-run lead for Schaumburg. So they're trying to pull away here in the 6th inning. Runner goes on the first pitch, throw to second base, a little high, and in there safely is Beal. Third stolen base of the inning for Schaumburg as all of a sudden they've decided they want to start running. And it has been successful 3 out of 3 times. He's going again, and he'll just take third without even a need for a throw. So they're just letting the guys run. He's into third now, 90 feet away from an 8th run with nobody out still in the 6th inning. And there's going to be a mound visit here. Oh, Will Prater made a nice play over at third base to end the last half inning. Barehanded play on a very high chopper from LG Castillo. Just barely beat out the running by about half a step. He's also done good offensively. He's 2 for 3, 2 singles, 1 drove in a run. He scored as well in the 5th inning. Outside, it's 2-1. Prater's from Dallas, Georgia. Not Dallas, Texas, but Dallas, Georgia. A little bit northwest of Atlanta. 4th season with Schaumburg as well. Just like Fitzgerald, as that one's fouled right back over the box. And it's 2-2. A 2-2 pitch here from Zenko. Staying alive is Prater. Last year for Schaumburg, he had 274 in 72 games, 3 homers, 31 RBIs. Against Evansville, he went 13 for 32. Had 3 straight multi-hit games against Evansville from May 26th through the 28th. Called strike 3, and that is professional strikeout number 1 for Dylan Zenko. Definitely not in the best circumstances, but still something you could be a little bit happy about after this outing. You got number 1 out of the way. Out number 1 here in the 6th inning. He didn't throw the ball back to the dugout, so he's still using it. First pitch is in the dirt. And they're going to toss that ball back to the Schaumburg dugout. Wonder if they know that that's strikeout number 1. They should probably get that ball back. 1-0 to Calarco. Check swing did not go. It's a little low for ball 2. Calarco's 2 for 2. He's reached in all 3 of his at-bats. Hit by pitch and 2 singles so far today. A lot of singles for Schaumburg. A little high. It's 3-0. Seven singles out of the 11 hits for Schaumburg. And then they've had 2 homers and 2 doubles. It is just going to miss high for ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk of Calarco. Second walk of the inning for Zentko, and then he'll put runners at the corners, and at least the middle infield now will back up in case of the double play ball. Jeff Nickel has driven in a run already here. Here's a chance to extend the lead to 5, maybe even more for Schaumburg in the bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch misses inside for ball 1. No movement in the bullpen for Evansville. It's still hauling Towns out there. He's been warming for a while for Schaumburg. Called a strike. Well, Nichols from Walcott, Connecticut, north of New Haven, a little bit southwest of Hartford. You know, there's not too much going on in Connecticut just because of how small the state is. My apologies to anybody from Connecticut. It's just a little smaller. 1-1 swung on and missed for strike 2. It's gone single walk, single strikeout walk. That's where we're at right now. Miles Beal, the big hit. He's now at 3rd after stealing 2 bases relatively easily. One-two pitch. Got him swinging. 2 strikeouts in this inning now as Nickel goes down. Second strikeout and second out of the 6th inning for Zentko. Oh, it'd be good for the confidence if Zentko could leave Beal at 3rd here after he reached there with nobody out. 2 strikeouts. Did get the walk to Calarco, but can get Livermore out here for out number 3 as all the infielders are now a little bit back. Now move up as the bunch drop down by Livermore, but it goes foul. Well, Schaumburg trying for a little small ball here, trying to get the squeeze down to score Beal from 3rd. You know, Beal has a lot of speed, so definitely the right man to have at 3rd if you want to try and get him in via the bunt. Plus, Livermore does have some speed as well. Oh, 1 called, strike 2. Oh, Zentko looking to get all 3 outs here via the strikeout. 1 strike away from doing so. He's given up the 2 runs, but I mentioned moments ago, good for the confidence. 0-2 fouled back right over me. I guess there is a possibility here that the foul ball heads into the booth here. That was right over my head, but onto the roof. You really got to hit it perfectly, though, to get it in here because the netting is at a weird height. Another 0-2. Down the first baseline, foul. I know there was that one broadcaster for Portland who got hit with 2 foul balls into the booth, and then she wore, I think it was a bulletproof vest and a mask. That was kind of funny. That's a little high, and it's 1-2. Haven't had a ball come into the box quite yet, but when it does, I'll try not to react if it hits me. I'll try and I'll tough it out. Just misses inside. It's 2-2. Bonkowski on deck. Has a home run. His first home run as a professional. Seen a lot of new signings and a lot of professional debuts, which means a lot of milestones. We've already seen 2 of them today. Livermore still 2-2. He's really fighting here in this at-bat. It's a long one so far. And Zenko now on pitch 37 in this inning. 2-2 yet again. There's strike 3, and all 3 outs via the strikeout for Zenko as he strikes out the side but does give up the 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Boomers lead at 7-3 as we head to the 7th on the Otters Digital Network. Hey, welcome back. My name's Evan Patoka. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network here in the top of the 7th inning. We have a new pitcher into the game for Schaumburg, Holland Towns. Well, Holland Towns is in to pitch for the Boomers as he'll face off against Mark Black, TJ Salvaggio, and Sam Linscott. To start off the top of the 7th, the Otters down 4. Got a couple home runs, but overall haven't really been able to keep up with the offense of the Boomers. These two teams just both, they're kind of the same team if you really think about it. They just look completely different at home compared to on the road. First pitch is called a strike to Towns, or from Towns to Black, and it's 0-1. Holland Towns, 3.52 ERA and 7 2/3, pitched in one game against Joliet through a scoreless frame on Tuesday. There's the curveball that time, and it's 0-2. Mark Black already down in the hole here. He's going to call his timeout. He's 0 for 2. He has a ground out to third and a strikeout swinging. Grounder into right field and a base hit. Good piece of opposite field hitting from Mark Black and another leadoff single for the Otters.
Now batting shortstop number 19, TJ Salvaggio.
Mark Black on the board here with a base hit brings up TJ Salvaggio, who hit a home run in his last at-bat, his third of the year. Nathan Anderson is warming in the bullpen for the Otters. High fly ball, right side of the infield. Second baseman Livermore backs up into the outfield grass to make the catch for out number 2, or out number 1. Mark Black does not move from first base. Back to the top of the order, though, Sam Linscott also has a solo home run. First pitch of the game. That's the only lead the Otters have really had so far today, was that first inning home run. First pitch showing bunt, drops it down. Fouled back, though, and it's 0-1. Towns is from Ridgeland, Mississippi. I almost did it again. I got to learn my Missouris and Mississippis, man. It's rough out here. Ridgeland, Mississippi, just north of Jackson. 25 years old. First season with the Boomers. His first professional season after playing last season with Mississippi College. Was a starter with them at a 5.85 ERA in 84 2/3 innings. Grounder up the middle, right over to second. Toss to Craig for 1, on to first, and it's a double play. And a quick 1-2-3, top of the 7th for the Otters as Towns gets some 1-2-3 even after giving up the leadoff single to Mark Black. Time to stretch here at Wintrust Field in the village of Schaumburg. Otters down 4 on the Otters Digital Network. So we're going to go back to a little conversation we had a little earlier this week. Actually, last week when we played Windy City. And we are going to talk about the syllables thing when it comes to Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Perfect for the Boomers. Root for the Boomers. See, like that works. The Otters. Thunderbolts. Nope, doesn't work. Thunderbolt. No, it just doesn't sound the same. Nathan Anderson is into the game for the Otters. After the pitching change, 7th inning is brought to you by Jacobs Pub. Jacobs Pub is proud to support the Evansville Otters in the Jacobsville neighborhood. Be sure to check out First Fridays at 607 North Main Street. Nathan Anderson also had his first professional outing on Wednesday. Scoreless frame with a strikeout. Matter of fact, struck out the first batter he saw as a professional. Got Slater Shield to strike out to start his outing. Somebody warming up in the bullpen for Schaumburg, as that's called a strike. It's 1-1. Jack Snyder just signed today for Schaumburg. Now in the bullpen. Anderson from Bondurant, Iowa. Definitely closer to Chicago than to Evansville, but he was with the University of Southern Indiana, otherwise known as El Screagles. 2.12 ERA in 17 innings with Southern Indiana this season before signing with the Otters. 2-1, high fly ball in a center field. Lynn Scott, not too much movement out there. He'll make the catch for out number 1. Mitch Bonkowski is retired. Alec Craig comes up for his 5th at-bat of the day. 1 for 4. He hit a double in the second inning, came around to score. Against the Otters last season, he went 7 for 22. Ended up scoring 7 times. That's fouled away. Also drove in 4, walked 6 times, struck out 3. A little low. Goes through the legs of Jose Muriente, the home plate umpire. Makes it 1-1. Anderson was with Wayne State for most of his collegiate career. 24 years old. Standing at 6'4", and he's up against 5'9" Alec Craig, who is now in a 2-1 count at bat number 5 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 7-3, the Boomers have the lead. Other one a little low. It's 3-1. Alec Craig was in college in 2015, his freshman year. 2015 to 2018, spent his entire collegiate career with Chestnut Hill as he takes inside for ball 4. Kind of shows you the veteran leadership that he has, considering that, well, if you take a look at a guy like Mitch Bonkowski, right, 23 years old, he was in college in 2022. He was probably in middle school when Alec Craig was starting his college career. Heck, I was in middle school when Alec Craig was starting his college career. 6th grade. First pitch right down the middle for strike 1. Kyle Fitzgerald. 2 for 4 has a home run and a single. Singled off of Zentko. Gets nailed in the elbow guard. Luckily, he has that thing on, or else it would have been a lot worse. Gets a little high and inside on him, though, and that's a hit by pitch. Fitzgerald will take his base. Heading to second is Craig. There's 2 on with 1 out for the Boomers. 7 free passes for the Otters, 4 walks, and now 4 hit by pitches. Or sorry, 3 hit by pitches. 2 of them in the first inning. Callum Clark was one of them in the first inning. He got hit by a pitch in the first, ended up coming around to score. He's reached 3 times today, but he's 1 for 2. Some dancing on the base pass from both Craig and Fitzgerald. We've already seen a double steal today. That was with Kellum Clark and Miles Beal. (1-0) to Clark. Little inside. Well, so far it's been 2 runs in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. There's only been one scoreless inning thrown by Otters pitching today, and it was the 3rd inning. Check swing, he went around, and it's 2-1. On the other side, Otters, 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 5th, and 1 in the 6th. Not too much offensive output for them today. Here in front of a pretty good crowd at Wintrust Field on a nice Friday night. We're getting more fireworks after today's game. Fouled away off to the left side. Foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. And it's 2-2. Schaumburg all-time is 57-50 against the Otters. 32-23 at home. They're actually under 500 on the road, though, at Bosse Field. If you would have asked who's winning the all-time series back in 2023, it would have been the Otters. Both runners go, and that's a blooper into center field for a base hit. Easily coming in is Craig. Heading first to third is Fitzgerald, and another RBI single by Kellum Clark. He's driven in 3 runs today, and it's 8-3.
Now batting center fielder number 4, Miles Beal.
So it's now 6 innings in which the Boomers have scored out of a possible 7. They're looking to do some more damage here now with Fitzgerald on third and Kellum Clark on first. Miles Beal. Called a strike. Beal's already driven in 2 runs. That was in his last at-bat. 2-run single. Mentioned this earlier. Still don't know what's up with Windy City. They've scored 16 today after scoring 20 yesterday. High fly ball. That is up there. Way up there into shallow center. Salvaggio makes the catch, fighting the lights this time instead of the sun. But he does make the catch, and that's out number 2.
Now batting third baseman number 10, Will Breeder.
Let's take a look at the Thunderbolts, because they've been on one. That's for sure. Since the Otters held them to 2 runs on Saturday, Windy City has scored 12, 12, 19, and now 16. And they've lost 2 of those games because they gave up 20 runs against Florence. So what happened in between May 30th and June 2nd? Did they just decide to... I don't know. They only scored 4 runs in those 2 games. They won one of them in sudden death, but they lost 8-2 on the 30th, and then they just decided, we're just going to start hitting everything. Everything possible. We're just going to hit it. And it's still not working because they've lost two games. It's 17-9 in Joliet. All right, enough on the Windy City Thunderbolts. 3-0 pitch. It is ball 4. And the bases are loaded as Will Prater walks. Little bit of a mound visit. Well, I guess we might as well take a look at the rest of the out-of-town scoreboard while we're here. 17-9 in the 6th inning, Windy City, by the way. 4 runs in the first, 5 in the second, 3 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth. Wow, man. 11-5, Brockton's up on Trois-Rivières. Sussex is beating New Jersey 4-0 in the second. I think that game is frozen on iScore. First pitch is going to get past Logan Brown, and that'll bring in another run as Fitzgerald will come in to score. Clark will advance to third. Prater will advance to second. And it is 9-3. Quebec's beaten Lake Erie 9-2. Gateway shut out Mississippi 3-0. And Washington shut out Florence 10-0. That game's restarted. Sussex County beat New Jersey 8-6. Grounder over to first. That's going to get into right field for a base hit. 2 more runs will come in to score. And it's becoming a blowout here. It is 11-3. Schaumburg. Alex Kolarko brings in 2 more. He's up to 3 hits on the day. 3 for 3. He's reached 5 times.
Now batting designated hitter number 12, Jeff Nichols.
So the Boomers have blown it open here against Anderson. 4 runs in the 7th, and they now lead it by 8. I didn't even get to finish my out-of-town scoreboard. New York 17-4 as Fritz Genther tied the Frontier League RBI record. Ottawa beat Tri-City in 10 innings, and there's 3 New Jersey Sussex County games on iScore. Why? I don't know. High fly ball. It's going to go foul. It's 0-2 to Nickel. 1 for 4 on the day for Nickel. He struck out twice, but his single did drive in a run in the 5th inning. Oh, 2 pitch. There's a fly ball, this time in fair territory into shallow right center field. Someone's got to get there. It's over the head of Mark Black as he overran it. And everyone's going to be safe. It's 2nd and 3rd. Kolarko's into 3rd, Nichols into 2nd. We'll see what they score it here. Might possibly be an error as it did go off of Mark Black's glove. He overran it. A little bit of a lack of communication there between Jones, Linscott, and Mark Black. And it's runners at 2nd and 3rd now with still 2 outs. They're going to call it an E9. Mark Black is given the error, and Nickel won't get the hit there. 2nd error of the day for the Otters. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Tony Livermore is 0 for 4 today. He's got 2 strikeouts, a flyout, and a ground out to second base. Ripped over to second. Good scoop by Jones as he'll toss to first for out number 3. Well, the Boomers send all 9 men to the plate in the bottom of the 7th. 4 of them come around to score as it has become a blowout here in Northern Illinois. Schaumburg's up 11-3 as we head to the 8th on the Otters Digital Network. Eighth innings brought to you by McMahon Exterminating. Remember who can help with all of your exterminating needs. McMahon can. Oh, we have a new pitcher in for the Schaumburg Boomers. Mentioned he was in the bullpen earlier, and now he is on the field. It is one Jack Snyder. Called a ball against Amani Jones. It's 1-0. Jack Snyder just signed today with Schaumburg. Fouled back. It's 1-1. Snyder signed a minor league deal with the Tampa Bay Rays back in 2022. He's been in the Rays minor league organization. Spent a lot of time as teammates with Blake Robertson. See if those two guys face each other in this inning. Inside, it's 2-1 to Jones. He spent his collegiate career at Western Carolina. Last season there, he had a 3.88 ERA and 46 1/3. And then pitched pretty well in the Appalachian League with the Danville Otterbots on today's episode of absolutely insane collegiate summer ball team names. Remember when they were the Danville Dans? That was fun. David Eckes is in the bullpen for the Otters. Looking to get the bottom of the eighth here. Swing and a miss. It's a full count, 3-2. We have a 2-for-1 special on the Summer Collegiate League team names. The Fond du Lac Dock Spiders. He played for them in 2019. Good old Northwoods League. Ripped it back up the middle and a base hit for Jones. Well, Amani Jones, hitting streak has moved up to 10 games after the single. The single leads off an inning for the third time today for the Otters. And Amani Jones, not sure what's happening over on the first base line. Seems like he might have lost something in the grass. They're looking for something out there. Interesting. For a second, it looked like he was injured, and that would not have been good considering Jones has been a great contributor on the offensive side. But we didn't see a trainer out there, so you assumed, yeah, he was just looking for something that he left in the grass and might just have to try and find it after the game. First pitch is fouled off to the left side for Logan Brown. I wonder what he lost. Could be like an earring or something. It seemed like they were looking pretty hard at like trying to find something on the smaller side. Fouled back, it's 0-2. Look out, concourse. Well, Snyder made it all the way to Double-A with the Montgomery Biscuits. There's a grounder over to short. Craig to second for one, on to first, and it's a double play. Schaumburg is playing some outstanding defense today. A couple double plays grounded into by the Otters as their DP woes with last week and this week on the road trips is coming back to bite him yet again. Dennis Pierce, nobody on, 2 outs. Snyder looking to throw a 1-2-3 inning now after the DP. Now DP will try to stop that from happening. The 0-1 from Snyder. Fly ball into deep right center field, but Beal will run it down for out number 3. First inning since 2021 as a boomer for Jack Snyder, and he throws a scoreless 8th. At the bottom half, David Eckes is into the game. 11-3, Schaumburg on the Otters Digital Network. Well, it's been a bit of a rough one as the Otters are down 8 here in the bottom of the 8th. New pitcher into the game for Evansville, David Eckes. Both of the lefties out of the pen will be showing up in this game for the Otters against a lefty-heavy lineup. Eckes will be facing off against Mitch Bonkowski, then Alec Craig at top of the order, and Kyle Fitzgerald. Seems as though we have a pitch clock violation. Not sure who that was on. It looks like it was on the batter, Bonkowski. So it's 0-1. Inside, it's 1-1. So a bit of a scoring change that I forgot to mention. The Jeff Nickel fly ball that was overran by Mark Black got changed from an error to a double. So still only one error for the Otters, and that double will be the second hit of the day for Nickel. Two-one, a little outside, and it's ball 3. David Eckes at a 5.63 ERA in 8 innings. Pitched on Wednesday against Mississippi, threw an inning, gave up a run. That is ball 4. Well, the bullpen kind of struggling with the walks here and the free passes in general. Bullpen arm for Schaumburg. The guy that will probably get the 9th is Aaron Glickstein. Not really close to a save situation, so they're just going to throw Glickstein in there for the 9th. Lefty-lefty here between Eckes and Alec Craig as that one's outside for ball 1. Now, 6 walks from Otters pitching today, 5 of them from the bullpen. As it's called a strike, and it's 1-1. Eckes has been pitching well in his last few outings. Threw a scoreless frame on the 30th against Windy City. As that one's called a strike. No earned runs in 2 1/3 against Gateway on the 26th. On the 24th, he did give up a run, but still hasn't given up too much damage, at least in his last 5 outings so far this season. Fly ball right side of the infield. Robertson clears everybody away, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. Oh, we have not seen a scoreless inning for an Otters pitcher since the 3rd inning. Every other inning has been a run. Scoring for Schaumburg as their offense, who hit 202 on the road against Joliet, have come back here to Wintrust Field in front of the home fans. They're putting on quite the show. Kyle Fitzgerald. First pitch is high for ball 1. Fitzgerald has reached 4 times today. Homer, walk, single, hit by pitch. He is 2 for 3. He's also scored 3 times. Fouled away off to the right side. Runner on first in Bonkowski. His 3rd time reaching after his home run back in the 4th inning. 1-1. It's a little high. It's ball 2. Well, if we take a look at the Windy City Thunderbolts and Joliet Slammers, what is going on this week, man? It's 17-12. Fouled back. That's the 3rd straight game that the Thunderbolts have played in where both teams have scored double-digit runs. That is insanity. Now it would take hours and hours of research, but has that ever happened in Frontier League history? where the same teams played in 3 games in a row where both teams have had double-digit runs. I feel like that's like a first, right? It's fouled away. Still remains at 2-2. Maybe they're juicing the baseballs. You never know. Two. Ooh, that one gets behind Fitzgerald. And heading to second base is Bonkowski. It didn't hit him, so it's ball 3. That allows Bonkowski to get into scoring position here with 1 out. No, the Otters have struck out 7 today. 4 from Encarnacion, 3 from Zentko. Struck out all 3 outs in the 6th inning, but still gave up 2 runs. Payoff pitch is outside for ball 4. So 2 walks in this inning for Eckes. It's 2 on with 1 out for Kellum Clark. Everybody in the starting lineup has a base hit for Schaumburg except for Tony Livermore. That still remains true for Kellum Clark. As a matter of fact, he's got 2 of them. 2 singles. Both singles drove in a run. He's also been hit by a pitch. He's walked, and he's scored 3 times. Called a strike. It's quickly 0-2, though, against Clark. "14 hits for the Boomers today. Got him swinging. Foul tip into the glove of Logan Brown, and a big strikeout for Eckes. That's out number 2. As he gets Kellum Clark on 3 pitches. A little bit of a confidence booster going with the heater, getting him swinging. Got to get out Beal here. Try and get a scoreless 8th. Well, most hits given up by the Otters was 17. That was against Gateway. Flip to second, and it's a scoreless 8th inning for David Eckes. First scoreless inning for an Otters pitcher since the 3rd. As Eckes gets out of the jam. He had 2 on with 1 out. Ends up not allowing a run to score. We'll head to the 9th. A lot of work to be done for the Otters. It's 11-3 on the Otters Digital Network. Top of the 9th, Otters down 8. New pitcher into the game for Schaumburg is Aaron Glickstein. Another one of the Schaumburg guys that's been here forever. His 5th season with the Boomers this year. 6th in the Frontier League. He re-signed on Valentine's Day. And he's got a 0 ERA through 10 innings. He's not given up a run yet. He'll face off against Blake Robertson, Marcos Gonzalez, and LG Castillo. Top 3 leading off the top of the 9th. First pitch is a ball, and Robertson is 0 for 3 today. He has a fly out to left, short stop ground out, and then a strikeout swinging. One. A little low and in. Makes it 2-1. His last outing was against Joliet on Wednesday. He threw a scoreless frame, struck out 2. Oh, Glickstein, the key to his success so far this season is he has 15 strikeouts and 0 walks. He has not walked a single guy this season. He's only given up 2 hits as well, so he's been very good. He had a 2.95 ERA last season in 58 innings with the Boomers. Check swing. Did not go around. It's a full count. Played 3 games against Evansville. 2 scoreless on May 21st, 2 scoreless on May 28th, and 3 scoreless on July 5th. Grounder over to second base. Long throw to first and scooped out there by Bonkowski. A great play by Livermore. There's more of that Schaumburg defense showing off. It's 1 out in the top of the 9th. Bonkowski playing a good first base over there. And the infield. Feel like everybody on the infield, Livermore, Craig, and Prater, all have made good plays at some point in this game. Outside to Marcos Gonzalez, it's 1-0. Glickstein is 29. Swung on and missed. From Dix Hills, New York. It's on Long Island near New York City. Played for Stony Brook for all of his collegiate career. 4 seasons. Little low. And it's 2-1. Something I've noticed about the Boomers, and it's kind of a thing that's a little more prevalent nowadays. I'm sounding really old, but the older guys, Glickstein and Craig, guys who played college ball in the mid-2010s, they only played at one school. And you don't really see too much of that nowadays. And I wonder what the ratio is in terms of just guys who played college in the 2010s, how often they transferred compared to now, because you got NIL, you got all the other stuff involving with money, but when Glickstein and Alec Craig were playing, they didn't have that, so they just were able to stay at one school. Chestnut Hill for Alec Craig, Stony Brook for Glickstein. We're starting a Green Bay sucks chant at Wintrust Field. There's a fly ball into deep left field. Marcos Gonzalez rips one over the wall. Absolutely smoked, and the team lead in homers is back in his hands. That's his 4th of the year, and it is 11-4. Well, a good positive about the Otters, they're hitting the long ball today. 3 homers. The Otters don't necessarily hit too many home runs, but they've been getting some power as of recent. And that was major power from Marcos. They tied their most home runs in a game with the game on the 19th against Gateway. Surprised LG Castillo has not hit a home run quite yet. Gonzalez is back up in the team lead in homers. He's got 4 of them. 3 of the 4 runs have come on the solo homer. 1 from Linscott, 1 from Salvaggio, 1 from Gonzalez. Called strike 3, and LG Castillo goes down looking on 3 pitches. First strikeout of the day for Glickstein, and the Otters are down to their last out. Let's take a look at the replay. Gonzalez, he wanted to pip it just a little bit. He knew that one was gone, of course. It is a little bit hard to show off a little bit after you hit a home run when you're down by 7. 0-2 to Mark Black. He calls his timeout, and Wintrust Field is going to start making some noise here. They're 1 out away from getting back above 500, ending that 7-game losing streak. 0-2. Grounder to short. Craig tosses to first, and that'll do it. So Schaumburg's offense comes back to life here after a very bad series against Joliet. They score 11 runs on 14 hits, and they're back to looking like themselves here at home. They're up to 11-2 here at Wintrust Field. The Otters, the offensive woes on the road, are coming back yet again. They hit 3 home runs, but only managed 4 runs as they drop game 1 of this series. They'll look to even the series up tomorrow. It's a little bit of an earlier game tomorrow. We start at 3, and then we start at 1 on Sunday. Otters, for some reason, they're just allergic to going 8 games over 500. We've been at 7 games over 3 times and have lost each and every time. Washington wins, so Otters are now 1.5 games back of Washington in the division. Luckily, Florence and Lake Erie both lost, so didn't lose any ground on them. Schaumburg continues their defense of the West Division as they're still up at the top. Gateway did win as well, so they're still tied with Gateway, but both of those teams are over 500 now. Schaumburg, their 7-game losing streak is over. They're 11-2 at home, and they're looking like a dominant force here at Wintrust Field in front of their home fans. Overall, just a rough day at the yard for the Otters, but you come back tomorrow and you try to put up an offensive performance, maybe get a couple more of those home runs with runners on base, and you try to split the series and then take game 3 tomorrow. Not tomorrow, on Sunday.
9, 8, 7.
Well, as the fireworks go off, let's recap what we just saw. Otters scored first. First pitch of the game was a home run for Linscott. 2 in the bottom half of the first inning from Schaumburg, then 1 in the second, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth. We kept exchanging ones. Top 5, bottom 5, top 6, 1 run each for each side, then 2 runs in the 6th. The bottom half for Schaumburg, then 7 runs, kind of made it a blowout. Otters scored 1 in the 9th on the home run from Marcos Gonzalez, but were not able to show their offensive spark that they had yesterday against Mississippi. So, there are the fireworks. At least we get to see a good old fireworks show. Schaumburg put up a fireworks show of their own here, putting up a good amount of runs on a good amount of hits. And they have a good amount of wins now. It is 13-12 for them, 15-9 on the season for the Otters. We'll see you tomorrow. For everybody here at Wintrust Field, I'm Evan Patoka. Hopefully we get a win tomorrow at 3 o'clock, first pitch.